Oh, good evening. Welcome to the Monday, March 20th meeting of the Library Commission. I understand this is the first hybrid meeting, so bear with us if there's any rough spots. Call the meeting to order. So first is the roll call. Student Commissioner. Just everyone give their name and no cheating. You can't. You got to do yours.
Okay. Hi, I'm Sophia Bronstein.
Very good.
Student Commissioner.
Excellent. I'm Julie Shai-Sobel, new to the Library Commission.
Monica Parmar, returning for her second year.
Mark Scheer.
Marlene Baumgartner.
Aniko Gold is joining us on Zoom.
Are we going to be able to see Commissioner Gold?
She's on.
No. Just curious.
Well, my camera is on. I can see you perfectly and I can see myself.
Great. Okay. You want to? There you are. Excellent. Welcome, everyone. It's good to have everyone back and be in this room again and to see everyone in good health, and let's have a good meeting. So the Pledge of Allegiance. Sarah, you want to do it for us? Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. So first item is approval of the agenda. Is there a motion?
I would like to make a motion to approve the agenda.
And I'll second it.
Approved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You have everything there? Okay. Great. It stands approved. Okay. Approval of the minutes. Motion.
I should mention, because we did not have a quorum at the last meeting, that no minutes were prepared.
Well, the good thing about that is it only lasted seconds then. Okay. All right. No minutes, no quorum. And right to announcements and introductions. Are there, let's see, is there anybody out in Zoom land, or it's just the commissioner and ourselves? Okay. Thank you. Are there any announcements anybody would like to make? Did you want to make the announcements about the bowling, or is that appropriate? Yeah.
So our Chamber of Commerce is doing a bowling tournament, and we are asking for people to participate as much as possible because we will be raising funds for our scholarship for the senior students at the high schools. So it'd be great to get anyone out there that's interested into a team. It's going to be Friday the 25th at 5 p.m. at the Corbin Bowl.
Thank you. That sounds like fun. Anybody else with anything? Okay. Moving into new business. So we have Library Commission reorganization. Is there any nominees for chair?
I'd like to make a motion that you be the chair, Mark.
Thank you.
Does that require a second?
I will second that.
Moved and seconded. Any other discussion or any nominees? All right. Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thank you. It means I don't have to move.
Exactly.
All right. And now for vice chair, is there a motion?
I nominate Julie Shy. Make a motion to nominate Julie Shy Sobel.
And I second it.
Moved and seconded.
Thank you.
Great. Any other nominees or discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Great. Okay. We have our new reorganization organized. Okay, city librarians report already.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to do a PowerPoint presentation for a minute. Let me get this up. Oh, just a minute. There we go. All right, you see that? So get to the next screen for a minute. So every year we have what we call the Fun Fair. And it started out as a way for the high school students to participate with the community and get community service credits. And you'll see that it's organized and run by teen volunteers and staff. The event is for elementary school age children and their families. We have kept this event going through the pandemic, changing it over the years for the needs of the community, teen volunteers, and staff. During the pandemic, it really was just a grab and go. We had a lot more people than we anticipated. We just handed out bags with art supplies and crafts and things like that. But last year we brought it back in person again, but it's outside. It used to be in the Founders Hall, and it was a huge event. And they used to do things like, you know, little games and face painting and stuff, that kind of way during the pandemic. But now we brought it back, and we had more than 300 people attend the event. And the following slides list the activities. So I'll show you these. So the Calabasas Jazz Combo 2 from Calabasas High School and the Tri-M from Agora High School played, and it was really great. They were wonderful. If you see in the band with a young woman playing the bass, the stand-up bass, and she was singing. And so it was really good. It made it really festive. The National Park Service came this year. They came last year too. And so they bring displays. They talk about the wildlife crossing. They have crafts for kids. They have coloring sheets. So that was a lot of fun. You could see from the slide that the weather was terrible too. So it's amazing that we had so many people come out because it was really cold, but it didn't rain, thankfully. We had the story walk and story time. And a story walk is there's posters and the people walk along and it tells a story as they walk through the Civic Center. And then Carrie Mirop, our children's librarian, did a story time on the patio. The Friends of the Library held a book sale and we sold more than 70 items. And that was really great. Also, the kids went around to all the activity booths. So there were crafts, activities, and painting and things like that, like painting rocks and all that. And when they went to the different booths, they got a little stamp pad and, you know, they stamped at the different things. So they would go to every booth. And when they came to the Friends of the Library, we also gave them a free book. We gave them a stamp and a free book. There was face and hand painting. That was really popular. There was huge lines for that. And then just some pictures of all the different games that the kids could play. There's just some pictures of the crafts and activities. It doesn't seem that crowded in this picture, but believe me, I think it's just because it's such a big space. And here are the library teen volunteers. There's actually a lot more of them, but they were working in different parts of the event. And so we couldn't really do without the teens. They do a great job. The Writers Club is a monthly regular event, and they've been on Zoom and they met in person after the fun fair. So the Writers Club are teens that do creative writing with younger children. And I walked out here when they were doing it and they were laughing. So I don't know what they were talking about, but they were laughing their heads off. So it looked like it was really fun. So here are all the participating organizations, the Friends of the Calabasas Library. They sponsor it. They pay for all the craft activities. The Teen Library Council. And if the new people don't know, the Teen Library Council is a group of students that advise the librarians on what they, should offer to teens in the community. The National Honor Society of Calabasas High School, Music Honor Society at Agora High School, Calabasas Jazz Combo 2 from Calabasas High, and the National Park Service. I also want to recognize the Stand Restaurant because we did a fundraiser with them. And every year they do a fundraiser. So they give us a percentage of something they sell. You bring the flyer in, whatever, a certain percentage of that. So that's really nice too. So that is it for that part. Do you have any questions? All right.
Wait,
Thanks.
real quick, one question.
Sure.
Was there something, if you got a stamp at every booth, was there some sort of prize at the end?
No, there wasn't, but I asked the same question. There should have been, but I think the book, we were the last, I can say that. We were the last booth, so we did give them a free book. So I guess it's
Nice.
a prize.
Okay, very good. Sound like,
Should I keep going?
yes,
With everything?
please.
Okay, great. So in the past, I always used to present statistics every time we met, and I haven't done that in a long time. So I thought I'd just go ahead and do it this time. So I just did from July, our fiscal year starts in July 1st. So I just did from July 1st to last week, March 15th. So far this year, we've answered 9,100 reference questions at the librarian's desks. Our collection, we have 135,000 items, 84,263 physical items, 12,576 e-audiobooks, 38,161 ebooks. Does that equal that? And then for our circulation, we have more than 139,000 items checked out, have checked out so far. And more than 74,000 of those for physical items and 64,798 digital books and ebooks checked out. Patrons, we have 23,726 adults, 7,033 children, and this year we have 16,842 digital cards. Now, the digital cards we give to every LVUSD student, staff, and faculty member. So they can use all the databases and all the ebooks without having to come in the library. There's not a total here because it doesn't total up because children are subsets of the digital. So to check out physical items, someone has to come in and get a card. A child has to come in with an adult and get a physical card to check out books. But the digital cards were fabulous during the pandemic because kids could still do schoolwork and watch movies on Hoopla, read ebooks during COVID. So it was great that we had that. So far, our programs, we have 36 adult programs, 96 children programs, 21 teen programs. And just to mention, we have 30 teen volunteers help us with the children's programs for 6 weeks in the summer. So the teens, so we kind of consider that programming too. I don't have that counted in here. But they sit at the booths and hand out summer reading bags and all that, which I'll talk about that right now. So summer reading, here it is this year. Get all this stuff out. So the theme this year is Find Your Voice. And so every year we hand out the bag, we hand out activity log, we hand out this brochure, a little, used to be more of a brochure, but the kids track their books. And in the old days, we used to give them little tchotchkes every week for coming in and showing us their cards. The Friends now have, in the past couple of years, they raise funds and they provide gift cards. And there's an opportunity drawing. The kids show us their, what they filled in. We put their name in a little raffle type thing and then pick it each week, and the kids get cards. So also for summer reading, and I'm doing this now because it starts in June, and I just like to let you know before we start. So it starts June 27th and goes through July 30th. And every Wednesday we have a children's program at 4 p.m. On July 5th, we have the Critter Squad. On July 12th, we have Bubble Mania. On July 19th, we have Craig Newtone's music, and those are all live and in person. And in the past, before COVID, we've had, 200, 300 children for this, but I think we are just going to be giving out tickets, so there's more spacing between people. It's not so crowded. And then July 26th, we have a recorded variety show. So that's actually going to be on Zoom. Put that away. Just wanted to talk a little bit too about, before I get into the other thing, about our programs. We're still doing some things online, some of the study buddies online, but we've been doing the adult book clubs in person, the story times are in person, and we've been having a ton of kids come to the story times. We've been having between like 30 and 60 participants, and we have 3 story times a week for children. And do you have any questions about any of that, any of the programming? Or we have a fun thing coming up. If you look on the back in your calendar, I want to talk about this because it's a little confusing, but on Friday, the 24th, we have Stuffed Animal Friends Sleepover. And it starts at 3 p.m. So the kids, we had to clarify this because I think people thought the children were sleeping over. But actually, the children are going to bring their stuffed animals, and it's a craft. So they'll make a little blanket and they'll make a name tag for their stuffed animal. And then we'll put the stuffed animals around the library and take pictures of the stuffed animals doing activities in the library. And then we'll post the pictures to Facebook so that the kids could see what their friends are doing at night in the library. So I think that's a cute thing that Carrie thought of. All right. So any questions on any of that?
I think just the only question I have is how else do we advertise all of these programs? Because I get asked all the time by different age parents.
Well, I have to say, Sophia has done a fabulous job for us on doing the graphics. So Sophia, do you want to talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, so before COVID, we didn't, or like recently after COVID, we haven't really been using the Instagram. So I was working with Carolyn to kind of revitalize the Instagram. So we've been posting a lot more frequently on there. So all these events, we kind of just like make a little graphic and post it up on there. And I feel like that's kind of the new social media that people are using more often. So people can check out the library on Facebook and also on Instagram and Twitter too.
And we advertise in the Acorn, we advertise in the Enterprise. It's on our website. We have flyers. For summer reading, we send it to Peach Jar at the school district. And I believe the fun fair, we sent a Peach Jar too. But I know we had talked about sending things to you for the high school, and
I just think, there's just so many different age categories and there's so many mom groups now that there's a lot of stuff that's starting to come out after, post pandemic. And this would be something to definitely highlight because sometimes they don't even realize, they had the kids during the pandemic, but especially like the stuff you have for the little kids would be so amazing. I remember when I did it with my kids. So any way that we could get out the information, even if they're like posters that we could post up, at places that parents usually frequent, like coffee shops and things like that, I think they would be super interested. We get questions all the time. And it's not always something that we can do at the school district. So it'd be great if they have stuff after school.
Okay, that's great. Sometimes when we have adult programs, like when I had the Spring into Creativity, I put on that Suddenly 65 website. And I think some of the programs, I think there's a mom website, and I think one of the moms puts it on herself. I don't think that we send it to them, but I've seen it on there too. Thank you. Anything else for that? Okay, I'll talk about the budget. You might have some questions about that. So, my glasses on. The city is starting the budget process, but is focusing on the general plan, the general fund right now at the next council meeting. And I'll probably meet with the CFO in the coming weeks to discuss the library budget. But we usually have the CFO come in and speak to you to talk about the different aspects. And so you can decide, I'm thinking maybe in June would be a good time, unless you want him to come earlier. It's really up to you, and you can decide and let me know. But I think he works on the general fund budget for the first month, and he's busy with that. And as you might know, the city of Hidden Hills has decided to let the MOU for the library funding lapse at the end of June. And they've decided to hire a library consultant to make recommendations on using their library funds. Because of that, we're anticipating a shortfall due to the loss of these revenues. And we'll be analyzing our costs, and specifically our database costs and our digital costs. And, the MOU, does everyone know what the MOU was? Let me clarify. We've had it. This will be the 10th year. It's an MOU, a memorandum of understanding between Hidden Hills, the city of Calabasas Library, and LVUSD, the school district, to purchase and have digital resources available to students at the school, student, staff, and faculty, and also to provide funds for supplemental services for general library operations for citizens of Hidden Hills. So what we need to do is look at our databases. They're very expensive, and probably eliminate those that are solely for LVUSD classroom use and not for general public. So we have things like middle school in context, social science in context, and those are specifically have been used in the classroom, or I shouldn't say in the classroom, but for students. And the librarian at the school district, the media specialist, would recommend digital books for us to purchase specifically for curriculum use. So we'll have to look at those. We probably won't be purchasing. We really last year did not purchase. She didn't make any recommendations for us last year. But we did spend a lot of money the year before on those. So we'll look on into, probably not purchasing those. The good news is we have several excellent databases free from the state of California. So we have things like Coursera, which offers courses, VetNow resources. They have a lot of job resources. The Britannica at this point is offered free. There's some research databases, but, that's all dependent on state funding, obviously, for those things too. So we'll have to see how their budget pans out. We'll probably reduce the number of ebooks and audiobooks that we purchase, since those are very expensive. You know, books are $25, $30, but ebooks can go up to $75 for each one. And they're single use, as you know. So I, you know, when I say single use, I mean to patrons. So you can read it one at a time. You would have to hold the book if it's not available. And also sometimes you get to have them for a year, 2 years, or 26 uses. So they're super expensive. But thanks to Hidden Hills, we have an excellent collection at this point, except then they go after 26 times or 2 years, they disappear. Maybe one positive is that it'll free up staff time, because we actually used to spend a lot of time ordering, cataloging, you know, maintaining all the different databases, and you know, Hidden Hills did not pay for our staff time. That was City of Calabasas pays for all staff time. So with that, maybe we'll spend some more time. We can spend some more time programming with our staff time. One thing I have to mention is that City Council requested that I prepare a report on non-resident fees for library use. So I will submit it after the recommendation by the Hidden Hills Library Consultant, depending on what happens with that. We'll see what happens with that City Council request. So that is all I have for budget. Would you like to ask questions, discuss?
Just from the high schoolers' perspective, I was in the AP capstone program at Calabasas, and I think your daughter was in it. Yeah. So we used the research databases very frequently to conduct our own research. So personally, I found that very valuable. So I think it's important that we have like at least one or two, if they're available from the state, that'd be beneficial. But I know students especially benefit from having those accessible to them. So just wanted to add that.
Okay, thank you for the report. Is that any other questions? No, okay. Thank you for the reports. All right, so we're already at future agenda items. Sophia, do you have any items? You're on the agenda.
Not that I know of, but been up to you guys.
Surprise.
The reason she's on the agenda is because her term is up. Will be up in May. And Sophia, you are graduating, are you not? Right. So
as far as she knows.
So we'll have to say goodbye to you after probably June. I don't know.
Right.
And so they will, the city clerk will put out an announcement to get applications for a student commissioner. And we usually have a subcommittee interview the students. So you could think about forming a subcommittee to do that.
And I just want to add, Sophia, you've been so beneficial to this entire process through Zoom when we were all on Zoom. So I really appreciate it. There's nothing better than seeing our students be super active. And I definitely know that you represented the high school students so well. So I hope that the person that ends up replacing you is just as good as you, because we really enjoyed all the input and all the work that you've done for the library, especially the social media component, because we really did need to catch up on that. So thank you so much. And we wish you the best of luck at whichever college you choose.
Yeah, thank you so much for all the kind words. I'm very grateful for all my time here and the impact I was able to make on the library. So thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for all that. When do we usually need to form the subcommittee?
I would think before school is out in June.
Okay.
So we can interview and have them
Okay.
going. Although Sophia, we'd have you come back. I think we'd give you something before you go.
And can I ask, how many people need to be on what's the subcommittee limited to?
It's usually 2 commissioners and myself.
Okay.
And I would suggest that in May, we start looking at the budget issues, and I was going to suggest that we look at options. If there's a menu of options that we can pick from, that'd be great, because part of it's going to depend on how much we have to belt tighten because of this. In addition to that, we should look at what we can still provide or not our Hidden Hills patrons, because this may affect them and likely will. And we don't want to be short-sighted, and at the same time, we will have to serve the Calabasas patrons as our first interest there. So whatever menu of items that we may need to look at would be great. Are there any other future agenda items?
I just wanted to clarify. You had said something about the CFO coming, and usually that would be June. Are you saying you'd like that in May?
Yes, because
Okay.
if there's something we have to decide upon, we may need the extra time.
Okay. So we'll set up, what we could do, we're supposed to meet every month, but we could cancel, April meeting and then have a meeting in May. Would you like to do that?
Yeah, I agree. I think that would be beneficial.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do we need to make a motion?
Do we need a motion for that? Because I think we're, like you said, we're supposed to have one every month. If we don't, we
Yeah.
just postpone it, or whatever the technical way we do that.
Cancel.
Sarah?
What we would do is cancel the next meeting and have one on May 22nd. And if that's the decision, I don't think we need
But
to.
do they need a motion? Go ahead and make a motion.
Yeah.
Cancel the April meeting so that our next meeting would be May 22nd.
Yes.
And I second that.
Moved and seconded. I may, or I have to look at my calendar. I may not be here that date, but we'll see.
Maybe in the same situation.
Okay, so we may, can we amend the motion to May and instead of the date specific?
Absolutely. I move that we amend the motion to be not date specific. Thank you.
And I'll second that.
Great. Okay, so the motion is now to cancel the April meeting to a May meeting, date to be decided. Fair enough? Okay. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I think that's it. Are we recording Commissioner Gold's thing? How does that work? Because we don't hear anything. Now, at the end of the meeting, it doesn't really matter, but
Yeah, well, can you hear me now?
Yes.
I'm not a voting member, so I don't think I can vote on anything.
oh,
I'm just here to observe.
oh, okay, great. Shows you what I know. All right. Any other future agenda items? Seeing none, motion to adjourn.
I second that motion.
You can first it unless somebody else did and I didn't hear it.
I motion to adjourn the meeting.
There we go.
I second that motion.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we stand adjourned. Thank you.